Welcome to another Platinum Greatwyrm episode of the It's a Mimic podcast, where you never know what you're going to get. Welcome to another episode of the It's a Mimic podcast, where I, Adam, am sitting down with one of our Patreon subscribers, Andri. Platinum Greatwyrm tier patrons are able to sit down and record an episode with us every so often, and so he decided that today we're going to be talking about environmental hazards in Dungeons & Dragons. But before we get into it, Andri, why did you pick this topic?
So funnily enough, it was because there was a storm yesterday when I realized I had a recording the day after and needed a topic really quickly.
I asked you, what's the topic going to be? We've got a recording. Come on, man, I need to prep. And you looked out the window and went, weather.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how it went.
We have recorded a couple of episodes on environmental stuff and hazards, and we went through, back in episode 231, I think, we covered natural hazards. I am stretching my memory banks on that. It has been 2 years, but around there, right? So it's been a while, and we obviously haven't covered it since the new edition, the new rule set came out, right? So
Exactly.
let me kind of jump into what the DMG has to say, and then I'm going to round it out with a couple of other bits and pieces I found from a couple of other books from regular 5th edition that might be able to fill in a couple of blanks. And then you specifically said you want to talk about glaciers and lava flows, and then maybe a magical environment, right? So
yes,
I want to know, as I go through this, I'm going to talk about water, I'm going to talk about cold, I'm going to talk about altitude, and I'm going to talk about wind and heat. Right. And when I'm all done, you let me know, like, what are we missing for glaciers or lava flows? Is this enough? And then we can homebrew some more stuff on top of it. Okay. Because for those of you who are not following along in the Patreon Discord, which I assume is most of you, Andri lives in Iceland and is would you call yourself a nature guide by profession?
I'm a glacier guide by profession.
Specifically glacier. But you and one of the other patrons in Iceland, you guys like, hey, look, it's a volcano, and you'll kind of wander over to it. Like you
when we can, when the police aren't being fucking dickheads about it, we go.
You know they're there to keep you safe, right?
I don't care. I want to go. I want to see the bright lava stuff.
Fair enough. All right, so let's jump into what's in the books. So the DMG actually has a section, and it's not under hazards. It is over by with the environment stuff, right? So the new DMG has the following stuff, and it's very similar to what we had in 5th edition. First of all, I'm going to start with heavy precipitation. So we're talking downpour, like heavy rains. Everything within an area of heavy rain or heavy snowfall is lightly obscured. The creatures in the area have disadvantage on all perception checks. Heavy rain also extinguishes open flames.
Okay.
I don't think that's a bad place to start.
No, it's not a bad place to start, but with the heavy snowfall, I don't think it's enough to just be lightly obscured. That's me personally, but we'll get into that later. I just wanted to say it now.
Now, again, this is like heavy snowfall. It's not a blizzard. I'm going to talk about blizzards later.
Okay. All right. Okay. In that case, I'll hold my horses.
After that, while we're talking about water, let's talk about actually swimming in frigid water. A creature can be immersed in frigid water for a number of minutes equal to its constitution score before suffering any ill effects. Each additional minute spent in frigid water requires a creature to succeed on a DC 10, which is pretty easy, constitution save, or gain 1 exhaustion level. Creatures with resistance or immunity to cold damage automatically succeed on this save, as do creatures that are naturally adapted to living in ice-cold water, so things like seals and polar bears, right?
Yeah.
I don't hate this. This is all right. Again, it's a good place to start.
It's pretty good. Yeah. We've seen worse rules.
Yeah. Next, I just want to, while we're talking about water, let's talk about deep water. Swimming through deep water, which is more than 100 feet deep, presents additional challenges because of the water's pressure and cold temperature. After each hour of swimming in deep water, a creature that lacks a swim speed must succeed on a DC 10 con save or gain 1 exhaustion level. Again, an hour, that seems a little forgiving, but it's fantasy role play, like, sure, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're setting the scene clearly. There's going to be more rules that we talk about for cold than for hot, strangely enough. But so that's kind of what we're dealing with kind of sleet, heavy rainfall, swimming, or having to get like underneath a iceberg or swimming through like cold Arctic waters. So let's actually get onto the land now. For thin ice. Thin ice has a weight tolerance of 3d10 times 10 pounds per 10 square foot area. So you get to roll and it'll be different all over the place. Every 10 by 10 area will have a different weight tolerance. Whenever the total weight on an area of thin ice exceeds its tolerance, the ice in that area breaks. All creatures on broken ice fall through. Below the ice is frigid water.
Nice. That's pretty good, actually. That's
I really fucking like that. So next is slippery ice. Slippery ice is difficult terrain. A creature that moves onto slippery ice for the first time on a turn and starts its turn there must succeed on a DC 10 dexterity save or have the prone condition, so you fall. I like that. That makes sense as well.
That makes perfect sense.
Now, I'm just going to pause for a minute and get into homebrew territory for half a second. I think that if somebody falls on slippery, thin ice, then they should add an immediate 25 pounds onto the weight tolerance that we have to deal with, right? So you're more likely to smash through it.
Yeah, I also just jumping to the homebrew. If you you just become prone if you fall on slippery ice, right? If you fail that dex save, that's all that happens. I don't think that's enough. I've fallen on ice. It hurts like fucking hell.
Yeah, I think you should take an automatic 1 damage. I mean, look, we're taking sometimes 6 damage from Dragon Breath, right? So 1 damage I think is fine for this. But I also think that you need to succeed on an acrobatics check to get back up on your feet.
Yes, I would agree. Yeah.
And that's going to have people, because it's already difficult terrain, you're going to be moving incredibly slowly. Most characters will be able to crawl 5 feet around. So that is going to be absolutely crippling, but fighting on slippery ice should be crippling. And it's not stopping your attacks or anything. It's just you're prone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The last one that we have for the cold is extreme cold. When the temperature is 0 degrees Fahrenheit or lower, Fahrenheit, not Celsius, a creature exposed to the extreme cold must succeed on a DC 10 con save at the end of each hour or gain 1 exhaustion level. And again, creatures that have resistance or immunity to cold damage automatically succeed. So your Yetis are fine.
Yeah. What did you say, 0 Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
Hold on. Look, I'm okay with Fahrenheit, but my European brain doesn't fucking understand this shit.
It's roughly negative 18 Celsius.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for my rest of the world bros, it's minus 18 Celsius, like Adam just said. Fuck that, bro. Okay, Jesus, fuck.
All right, so
your fucking system sucks, man. Just use Celsius, honestly. What's wrong with you guys?
You know what? No comment. I'm on fucking record on this podcast is ranting, but I'm just gonna keep on moving. The next one we have, which can combine with all of the rest of the stuff, is high altitude. Traveling at altitudes of 10,000 feet or higher above sea level is taxing for most creatures because of the reduced amount of oxygen in the air. Each hour such a creature spends traveling in high altitude counts as 2 hours for the purpose of determining how long that creature can travel when it comes to travel pace, right? Creatures can become acclimated to a high altitude by spending 30 days or more at this elevation. They cannot become acclimated to elevations above 20,000 feet unless they're native to such environments.
Yeah. For the rest of the world, that's 3 kilometers, by the way.
Yeah, and I mean, that's intense. That's insane, right?
Yeah. That's a lot. I mean, did you say there was a con save to being that high up? Or did I imagine something?
No. What it does is it just affects your travel pace because you're not able to take deep breaths.
Sure.
Looking up what's my altitude right now. What's my elevation? There's actually a website that'll do this for me. Is it gonna actually tell me, or I'm very confused. Actually, you know what? I bet my phone will tell me because Google spies on you all of the time. So
yeah, exactly. Wow.
What's your altitude?
So above sea level, 19 feet.
19 feet?
Yeah. Iceland is so hilly, man. I'm at the bottom of hill and mountains. I'm in a dale where I stay, so I'm pretty low. I work way higher up though.
I'm 287 meters above sea level.
Yeah, you're a lot higher than me. I work my usual work is in 4,600 feet.
4,000.
That's my normal. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, 1.4 kilometers up above sea level. That's where I work. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's fucking up there, Andri.
Yeah, it's pretty up there.
Yeah. The next one on our list is strong wind, which again, if you're in high altitude, you're also dealing with a lot of this cold shit. And you're going to be dealing with winds.
Yes.
Strong wind imposes disadvantage on ranged attack rolls with weapons. It also extinguishes open flames and disperses fog. A flying creature in a strong wind must land at the end of its turn or fall. Also, a strong wind in a desert can create a sandstorm that imposes disadvantage on perception checks. I would say that it should kick up some snow in some areas as well.
Oh, it shouldn't. It does. Let me fucking tell you, it does.
All right. So that is what we have for anything that's going to affect cold from the Dungeon Master's Guide. But now I want to get into blizzards from Icewind Dale.
Okay.
When you're ready to stage an encounter in the wilderness, and Icewind Dale, of course, is the frigid Arctic North. You roll 2 20-sided dice of different colors. The first d20 is the encounter die. The second is the blizzard die, and you use them as follows. You roll the encounter die and consult the random wilderness encounters table to determine which characters come across, or what the characters come across. Now, there's a d20 table of creatures that you will find in Icewind Dale, but the lower the number, the more likely it is that they're going to be able to survive really harsh environments, right? So a 20 is a peryton. Yeah, you'd find these things, but in a blizzard, they're going to land, they're going to hide. Number 1 is a Yeti. You will find Yetis in blizzards, right?
Yeah.
So once you've rolled that one and you figured out where you are on the encounter table, then you roll the blizzard die and you add 1. If this total is higher than the encounter die, then the encounter takes place during a blizzard.
Oh.
The blizzard starts 1d4 hours before the encounter is triggered and ends 1d4 hours after it is resolved.
Lovely.
So, how do we feel about that right off the bat?
That's a lot of fun, actually.
I kind of liked that fucking whole hell of a lot.
Yeah.
It's funny because I live in Canada, but I'm in the most temperate part of North America where we don't get extreme weather one way or the other. No. And it is, how do I put this? It is just kind of rainy and wet. I live on a mountain, so I get some snow, but that's really it. There's not a whole lot more that I see. And so when I get cool shit like this, I'm excited because it feels very fantastical to me.
Yeah. The sun is pretty fantastical to me, honestly. I don't see her a lot.
So when it comes to actual blizzards, because it says, it'll take place in a blizzard, but what does that mean? There are some rules here. A blizzard in Icewind Dale typically lasts 2d4 hours, which is why we said it takes whatever the encounter is, lands right in the middle, in the heaviest part of it. The howling wind limits hearing to a range of 100 feet and imposes disadvantage on ranged weapon attack rolls. We already get that with the strong winds. It also imposes disadvantage on perception checks that rely on hearing. The wind extinguishes open flames and disperses fog, again, same as the heavy winds, erases tracks in the snow, and makes flying by non-magical means nearly impossible. A creature falls at the end of its turn if it is flying by non-magical means, and it can't hover. Visibility in a blizzard is reduced to 30 feet. Creatures without goggles or other eye protection have disadvantage on perception checks that rely on sight. So you can see 30 feet, but with disadvantage. Any creature that's concentrating on a spell in a blizzard must succeed on DC 10 con save at the end of its turn or lose its concentration. Unless the creature's sheltered against the elements, for example, in an igloo. It also says that it is easy to veer off course in a blizzard. If they're traveling, players designate one party member as the navigator. At the end of each hour of travel through the blizzard, the dungeon master makes a DC 15 survival check on behalf of the navigator. On a successful check, the party stays on course. On a failed check, the party wanders off course, putting its members no closer to their destination than they were at the start of that hour. If the check fails by 5 or more and the party members aren't tied together, one randomly determined party member becomes lost in the blizzard and separated from the others. If the group tries to reunite with the missing member, have the party members, including the missing one, make a DC 15 survival group check at the end of each hour. If the group check succeeds, the missing party member is found, but no progress is made. The group check can be repeated after each hour spent searching for the missing party member.
That's a lot of fun. I like that.
So that's what we have for that. Now, we also have a couple of things that when we're dealing with cold, we get a couple of entries from caches to make this even fucking worse. For example, avalanches.
Oh, yes.
A typical avalanche or rock slide is 300 feet wide, 150 feet long, and 30 feet thick. Creatures in the path of an avalanche can avoid it or escape if they choose, or if they're close to the edge. But outrunning one is almost impossible. When an avalanche occurs, all nearby creatures must roll initiative. Twice each round on initiative counts 10 and 0, the avalanche travels 300 feet until it can travel no more. When the avalanche moves, any creature in its space moves along with it and falls prone. And the creature must make a DC 15 strength save, taking 1d10 bludgeoning damage on a fail or half as much on a success. 1d10 is not crazy, but wait for it. When an avalanche stops, the snow and other debris settle and bury creatures. A creature buried in this way is blinded and restrained and has total cover. The creature gains 1 level of exhaustion for every 5 minutes it spends buried. It can try to dig itself free as an action, breaking the surface and ending the blinded and restrained conditions on itself with a successful DC 15 athletics check. A creature fails this check 3 times. If they do that, then they can't attempt to dig themselves out anymore. A creature that is not restrained or incapacitated can spend 1 minute freeing a buried creature. Once free, that creature is no longer blinded or restrained by the avalanche, which means you only have a set number of opportunities to get out. And otherwise you will die from exhaustion underneath.
Yeah.
Also, because we talked about avalanches and high altitude and stuff, I wanted to get into the idea of falling into water. A creature that falls into water or another liquid can use its reaction to make an athletics save. It's DC 15 or an acrobatics check, but they are trying to hit the surface head or feet first with the acrobatics. On a successful check, any damage resulting from the fall is halved. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, okay.
If a creature falls into the space of a second creature, and neither of them is tiny, the second creature must succeed on a DC 15 dex saving throw or be impacted by the falling creature, and any damage resulting from the fall is divided evenly between them. The impacted creature is also knocked prone unless it is 2 or more sizes larger than the falling creature. So this kind of paints an idea of like there are a whole lot of mechanics that you are going to fuck with when it comes to cold. So we get a whole lot less for heat. What we do have is the strong wind in the desert that creates the sandstorm that I said before, right? So like disadvantage on perception. And then there's an entry in the Dungeon Master's Guide which says when the temperature is 100 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, so sure. A creature exposed to the extreme heat and without access to drinkable water must succeed on a Constitution saving throw at the end of each hour or gain 1 exhaustion level. The DC is 5 for the first hour and increases by 1 for each additional hour. So if you're there for an entire day, that DC is going to be like 29, right? Creatures wearing medium...
For really quickly, for my non-Americans, 100 Fahrenheit, it's 38 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, that's fucking disgusting. I'm already sweating thinking about that. I hate it.
It's the same. This was the shit I had to deal with in Boston when I went over. Fuck this shit.
I don't know how people down in like the southern states and below, like down to the equator, I don't know how people in Australia fucking survive. I don't know how people in like the hot parts of the Mediterranean. And
my guy, I don't know how you survive. I don't know how you. I check the weather in Vancouver every now and again. I don't know how you survive, bro. This is too much for me.
Oh, I live up a mountain and in a basement. My house is always 6 degrees colder than it is on like the Weather Channel.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
It's really fantastic. Even in winter, I don't like it. Doesn't bother me because I don't get the elements. I don't get the wind and everything else. The snow falls and I'm insulated. I'm toasty.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing about extreme heat is creatures wearing medium or heavy armor have disadvantage on the save against exhaustion. And creatures that have resistance or immunity to fire damage automatically succeed on the save.
Yeah.
That's all we get in the DMG. There is an additional thing that I found in Tomb of Annihilation when talking about Chult. Chult is hot, humid, and rainy throughout the year. Temperature regularly climbs as high as 95 degrees Fahrenheit. They actually translate it for you, so 35 degrees Celsius during the day.
Lovely.
And seldom falls below 70 degrees or 20 degrees Celsius even at night. A day without rain is rare, but rain varies from a steady mist to a drenching downpour, which is what we talked about before with the perception issues, right? Yeah. Visibility in heavy rain is limited to 50 yards. Beyond that distance, only huge or larger objects can be distinguished. Missile weapon ranges are halved during rain. On days that receive heavy rain, there's a 25% chance of a full-blown tropical storm featuring sheets of rain, high wind, lightning, tall waves at sea, and immense surf along the coasts. Guides who know the conditions in Chult recommend hunkering down and staying put on these days. Travel by river is impossible. You can't go 15 minutes without getting capsized. And if characters insist on traveling by foot, every character gets one level of exhaustion automatically and must make a successful DC 10 con save to gain another. Skill checks to avoid becoming lost are made with disadvantage on storm days.
Oh, lovely.
But that doesn't give us much for lava flows. It's great for storm, but that's it.
Yeah. So really quickly, what the fuck is a yard? How many yards did you say that was? Why are you...
Well, when did I say yards? When was that? I was reading so quickly.
Some visibility is reduced to 15 or 50 yards, whatever the fuck it was. Something about the storms.
It's so weird they didn't say feet. You're right.
Yeah, you said yards, and I kind of died inside, like, oh fuck, another measurement.
Yards.
I do not understand.
A yardstick is the same thing as a meter stick in Canadian elementary schools. When I was growing up, a yard, I think, is how many feet is it? Is it exactly? Yeah, it's 3 feet, right? But 3 feet is close to a meter, but not quite, right?
It's not far off. Like it's like 10 centimeters off usually. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, so a yard, 50 yards is like 45 meters or 150 feet.
Yes. 45 meters. Hang on. Well done.
I'm doing my best here.
Brother, I would not have guessed that anywhere close.
But yeah, so here we are now. Let's talk about the 3 things you wanted to talk about. The first is glaciers.
Yes.
Do you think we've got enough? What's missing off of glaciers?
What's missing are other environmental hazards that are not that don't affect the glacier, but the glacier itself. There are, for example, we call them crevasses or crevices.
Yeah.
Which are just giant cracks in the ice. And they are very often hidden by snow shelves. And should you fall into one, it's going to be a bad fucking day, let me tell you what. Unfortunately, people have not much in Iceland because we are very safe about it, but it has happened. And if you fall down one, so it's very unlikely that the individual would come back out unscathed or even alive in the worst case scenarios. Because if you just imagine a V, that's basically how a crevasse forms. It is not a chasm down. It gets narrower the further down it goes. So a lot of people get stuck. That's what I feel like is missing.
Yeah, one of the things that I would add would be like a mechanic for like under the thin ice area, it would be like hidden chasm, right?
Yeah.
And then you would roll like if you're on land and not water, and like there may be hidden chasms underneath you. And then you would roll maybe percentile dice. And if you roll like a 1 or a 2, you catch a crevasse. If you roll a 3 or a 4, you catch a canyon, right? So down you go, take fall damage, and you got to get out. In a crevasse, you go down, you're prone, you're restrained.
Yes.
And you need to be rescued.
Yes. And you better hope that your rescuer gets stuck too. Crevasses are a lot. Well, I say they're a lot of fun. They're
terrifying.
Yes, absolutely. But that's not even like the worst thing you can see on the glacier. There's Now, if anybody speaks French, but I know that you guys don't because you're not French Canadians. There is a thing called a moulin or moul. I'm not even gonna fucking try. Fucking Google it yourselves, you French speaking bastards.
Yeah, hold on. A moulin, isn't that where you go for the rouge and then you get a whole bunch of sexy dancing with Nicole Kidman?
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, in glacier terms, we refer to them as glacier moulins. It is pretty much it's more common here in outside of the polar zone, so like not Arctic scenarios. It is basically just a hole in the ice that the water digs out, looking for a way down because it can't flow off the ice. It's more common in the summer. But the problem with that is similar to a crevasse, they get narrower, but there's water coming down with you this time.
That's
terrifying. And if you get stuck on the way down, you are now acting like a cork. You are stopping the flow. So guess where the water is now going to be?
Yeah. Is this something that like is hidden and you like break through the ice and down you go?
No, not in the winter. It can be, but I mean, where I work, the snow covers them so well. Like these hazards are very like, okay, everything is melting. We have to be careful. In the dead of winter, odds of anything like walking into this are very slim. But this is another thing that I would like to, like a lot of Arctic travel in media in general is very, it's winter. It's really dark and scary. Brother, let me tell you what, the Arctic is way scarier in the summer.
Because it's
places are way scarier in the summer. Yeah, it's unreliable. You like, especially early summer where there's still a little bit of snow hiding everything, and then you fall and die.
So, what mechanic would you add for the moulins? Would you have it be like the thin ice thing, but just like the weight limit is like 20 pounds? Like it's super freaking light.
Yeah. What I would do, you fall down. Okay, now your DM is going to have to decide how evil he is. How far down do you go? Because the only thing that stops a Moulin getting deeper is there's no more water flowing or winter. Like the ground beneath the glacier and winter are the only thing that stops Moulins. So if I were to be a nice DM in this scenario, I would I would put a PC maybe 50 feet down, and then they're getting stuck, and now there's a timetable because now the water is above their head, and now we have drowning mechanics.
Now,
like holding your breath.
Yeah, fortunately, drowning mechanics are pretty okay for.
Yes, but you are frigid water into it.
Yeah,
because you are on the glacier.
Yeah, you're going to be dealing with exhaustion. You're going to be restrained. You're going to be unable to communicate outside of like message, assuming you're close enough to people. Like you are isolated. It is if I'm honest with you, I wouldn't put it at 50 feet. I'd put it at 30 just because it's going to take 2 movement speeds to climb out. But there'll have to be some sort of acrobatics check or strength save to even get out of this like position in the first place, right? I couldn't even begin to give you a DC because unfortunately people that fell to Moulins are more often than not recovered, not rescued. Yeah, but I mean, again, you guys are fantasy heroes, so I would make it like, of course, DC 15. That sounds fair. And I would have it be like shallow or narrow enough that it's going to pull you down, but you're only going to be like maybe 5 feet below if we're in combat on the glacier. Yes. Right? So I'm going to temporarily remove you from combat for a round or two. Yeah. Right? I like that. That's good. Suddenly the 5 or 6 like Icewind Dale kobolds, which didn't seem so dangerous to a level 5 party. Well, one of the players is drowning now over there, right? What are we doing? Someone's got to go get them. And now you're not fighting the party, you're fighting half a party. And the kobolds have got tricks, right? Like, I think that's a lot of fun. Do you have any? Excuse me. Well, do you have anything else for these glaciers? Glaciers? Plenty. I mean, even just today, it was pretty sunny, which was nice, and it newly snowed, which was really nice. The snowy season is finally back on the glacier. I fucking love that. The big thing that, like I said before, a lot of media displays. Displays. There we go. The Arctic's in a very dark manner. Like it's always winter, like
so there's nothing to see. But in the summer, it can happen in the winter as well, when there's new snowfall and the sun is out. There's no clouds blocking it. You're getting the sun twice at you, one from above and then one from below.
Yeah.
You are not seeing anything if you don't have sunglasses. You're squinting, trying your best. I feel like on days like that, if you are doing a summer Arctic travel or whatever, I feel like you're gonna have disadvantage on perception check if you don't have anything. Like if you don't have snow glasses. I know that a lot of Inuit tribes have very thin made of bone with a very small opening to shield from the sun.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything like that, you're not gonna see shit. I'm speaking from a lot of experience.
Oh, I bet. Like, I used to ski quite a bit when I was younger, and you needed the goggles. You just had to have them, and not to keep the snow out of your eyes, but to even fucking see the white landscape.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's crazy how that is. I feel like that is a very it's not a commonly known fact for people, who are not maybe skiing or the north of, I don't fucking know, Germany, north of Germany.
Sure.
No, south of Germany. Wait, hold on. Hold on. This is common knowledge to everything north of Germany. I'm tired. Okay.
Yeah. Look, I think I'm always amazed at some of the things that people don't understand. If you get lost in the mountains and they say stay put, do not fucking move. Right. But if you have to move, find the valley. Don't go to a peak. Everyone wants to go to a peak to get rescued. Go to a valley, because valleys will lead you out. Right. Yeah. There's water, there's shelter, and it will lead you out. It is less likely you will die of exposure that quickly. Right. That is something we are taught in Scouts. Water flows downhill. If you are lost for a couple of days, go downhill, find water.
Yeah, I say this because I do snowmobile tours on the glacier a lot. I did some today, and at the beginning of the day, the visibility was pretty good. Like I saw probably, I'll put it into feet as best as I can as well. I saw maybe 200 feet in front of me, so divided by 3, like 50. I don't know why am I trying this math? I'm too tired for this fucking math. Hold on.
Divided by 3, it's like 66.
Yeah, it's like 60 centimeters in front of me, which was pretty good. That's fucking solid, honestly, for this time of year. And then later, around noon, I did not see shit because the fog and the snow and a little bit of wind kicked in. So I saw maybe like 70 feet or not nearly in the 70, like 20 meters in front of me.
All right. So the big takeaway I'm getting here for glaciers is that you need to know what season you're in, and there will be consistently changing environmental hazards. You should be. You should have a table of like a random table behind your DM screen that you're rolling on every blank number of hours. Maybe you roll a D4 to find out how many hours, and then these are the new things you got to deal with. And maybe if you roll another die beside it, like a D12, and if you hit a 1, you start to compound things, right? So a blizzard rolls in while there are crevasses and shit like that, right? Like you can really get this really scary pretty quickly, and make the Arctic encounters far deadlier just getting from place to place. I also think that it's a really cruel way to kill player characters, and there's a lot of opportunity to do that. So it's going to be best when you're trying to get with a caravan of NPCs and you start off with 30 NPCs, and then blizzards hit, crevasses pop off, yetis are showing up in the middle of blizzards, and like snow hawks are coming down on you. There's a part of the glacier breaks off and there's an avalanche, which takes most of the mounts and 20 people. Like these are things that you can hit the party. So they left with, I don't know, 30, 35 people. They get into the next town with like 8, right? What happened? Well, winter.
Yes. And I mean, also, should be stated, crevasses. I mean, it's in a fantasy setting. I don't fucking care. Do what you want. But crevasses usually form when the glacier is moving down a valley.
Yeah.
And such. Just if anybody wanted the realism part of it, but crevasses can form anywhere. Like there's nothing really stopping it. It's just rare that they're not flowing down. That's maybe what you take away. But yeah, I mean, absolutely, the fucking glacial travel and just Arctic travel in general, it is it's a lot more than a lot of media displays it as, I feel.
Oh, it's far more dangerous. Like the only thing that we ever see, like the tropes when people are doing mountain climbing movies or whatnot, are people falling to their death off the side of an impossibly high cliff that probably doesn't exist in real life, or they fall into, like, the ground opens up beneath their feet and down they go, and they land on a nice ice shelf 20 feet below, and then but the cave goes deeper. Right. And then the last one is an avalanche hits and they're all running away from it, and it like catches them. They ride the top of the avalanche towards the cliff and then manage to grab on at the lip as all the snow goes rushing by them. Right. Like, these are the tropes.
Yeah.
None of that fucking happens. None of that happens.
No, if you get hit by an avalanche, there's not much honestly left at that point. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Right.
You can't be rescued. There's not a good chance though. Not unless you know where the person is.
I did a Christmas one shot last year where they were hunting a Yeti and they got caught in an avalanche. And it took some incredible saves and some absolutely amazing like teamwork and magic. One of them had pyrotechnics, which, like, the spell, which was fantastic because, we know where you are now, right?
Yeah.
It was that kind of, like, it was that shit. If they didn't have magic, they wouldn't have lived, right? It felt very, very fantasy for that reason, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, we've gone a little long on glaciers. Unless there's anything else, let's talk about lava flows.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything else about glaciers? Actually, this is glacier adjacent. So I kind of want to talk about it before we go into lava flows. Because there was this storm yesterday here at home in Iceland, and due to a lot of raining on the glacier and in the neighboring areas, a lot of the rivers from the glacier overflowed, and it actually destroyed our ring road, like our road 1 in parts. So if anybody is doing a setting where there are glaciers around, and I rolled heavy fucking p-word purchase, big word, I can't say it, you know what I'm talking about, heavy rain, there we go,
torrential downpour.
Yes, thank you. And it's summer, so it's not going to be snow. Make those rivers fucking go. Like, destroy everything with those rivers.
Yeah.
Like, that's also something that should be out there. Like, this is referred to with glaciers as a glacial runoff. Those things will tear anything down in their path. Like, absolutely, if anybody is doing a setting like that, look into that. It's quite destructive.
Oh, a flash flood would be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, that's essentially what it's flash flood. Thank you. That's essentially what a glacial runoff is. It is flash floods, but it's from the glacier. So we have a different name for it, because of course we do. That's the last glacier adjacent thing. We can go to lava flows now. Yes.
All right. Well, what do you think of lava flows? Like, what's missing off of that?
So I feel like a lot of lava that we see in media and in D&D, it's kind of still. It's not moving. I feel like that is the general, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, in a way it can. If it's a cauldron, if it's a caldera, it can be kind of still, but it's never still. It's bubbling. The problem that's missing is, like, this could get super technical if you really wanted it to. I think what's missing is different types of lava flows, because you don't just have one type of lava flow. Like, the lava flow in Hawaii is fast. It can be really fast. And then you have, on the other side, here in Iceland, we can have fast and slow. Just depend on the type of eruption that's happening. What I feel is missing is, how fast do you want this lava to go? Like, because a lava flow could essentially work as an avalanche made out of fucking fire, but there's no real saving yourself out of that one.
I would have it move slower, because the sheet of ice dropping off the entire side of the mountain coming down probably moves slower than molten rock bubbling down the mountain. But I mean, by slower, I do mean like 200 feet around. Like, it's still
yeah. Like, well, that's all up to like I said, the type of eruption. Like, this is me going into the thesis I was going to write about eruptions again. You can have very different types of volcanoes and eruptions. You can have a fissure crack, which is just a crack in the ground, which is what I keep putting on the Discord. That's a fissure eruption. And then you can have eruptions from the classic like tropical mountains. Like the lava spews from a fucking cone, and it's all epic and shit. It's very, very different variations, but what I think it's mostly just the speed. It's always displayed as this slow moving thing when it should definitely be able to go faster. And the fact that when you're in a room full of lava in D&D, there's a concept to not be exhausted by the heat, right? I'm not mistaken in that, am I? Because now I'm not sure. I think there is. Maybe.
Sorry, I had you on mute, and I'm sitting here babbling away. The extreme heat has a con save of like DC 5 for the first hour, and increases by 1 for every additional hour. That's all we get. Disadvantage if you're wearing medium or heavy armor.
Yeah, okay. That's not bad, but like when you're in a room like in a fire giant's lair or the red dragon's lair, and it's like full of lava, you're going to be feeling it the moment you step in. It's gonna hit you like a fucking wall, the heat. Yep. Like the first hike I did to an eruption, because of course I fucking did. I want to say 100 meters away from it, which is about 330 feet for those of you who use the wrong unit of measurement. And I felt the heat then. 330 feet away, I started feeling the heat of fresh lava.
This shouldn't be surprising to anybody that's ever been around a bonfire. And you realize, like, you just can't get that fucking close.
No, like, you can't be a lot closer to lava without, like, feeling it. But due to just the power and the wind that me and my buddy got, we did feel the heat. We didn't really dare go any closer because we were smarter than that, even though we hiked to a volcano. But it's this portrayal. I mean, I see it in fucking media all the time. Like usually bad media. Oh, there's lava here. There's this lava room, and they're kind of sweaty. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, they've sprayed them with a fine mist of water before they called action.
Yeah. It's not the holy fucking shit type sweat that you would be getting.
The absolute struggle to catch your breath, and like you walk away, like you were 100 feet away, and you still got a sunburn from it, just because your face and like exposed skin is cooked.
And also this is also I just remember this. This is so I don't know how, like, I don't think there are many volcanoes in Canada. I would be correct in that assumption, right?
Well, we had Mount St. Helens erupt just across the border.
Okay, it's close, but you might not have a regular eruption like I do here.
Oh, right? Absolutely not. Okay, I just Googled it. According to Google's AI, which, I mean, take it with a grain of salt here.
Yes.
But, yes, Canada has active volcanoes, mostly concentrated in Western Canada. Oh, that makes me feel good. Specifically in British Columbia. Well, fuck. And the Yukon. And then it gives a bunch of different examples. But the most recent eruption was about 150 years ago.
Yeah, okay. But honest, just the sidebar again, that makes sense. You are on one of the tectonic plates that...
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We tend to get earthquakes before we'll get volcanoes, but I mean, it could technically happen.
Yeah. But there became a problem here in Iceland because we get a lot of tourism, right? We got a lot of tourists.
That is a problem.
I know. It is 10% of our entire GDP at this point, which is impressive. But the problem occurred not that the tourists were here, it's what the tourists were doing, which is walking on lava.
What?
Yeah. And I'm not talking like there's a difference between lava flow and a lava field. Iceland is covered in lava fields that have been cooling for thousands of years. That's whatever. If there's moss on it, it's cold enough to kind of walk on. We're talking that was an eruption 2 weeks ago and they're walking on it.
Jesus.
So PSA for anybody who's going to Iceland, come to me, visit me. Hello, please. Give me money. No, I'm kidding. But don't walk on the hard lava that you think is hard, but is still molten on the inside without you actually knowing. It takes a long ass fucking time for lava to cool properly.
Oh, yeah.
Like we had an eruption 70 years ago at one of our smaller islands. You can still bake bread in the ground. The lava is that warm.
Jesus.
Yes. It takes a while. It takes like 8 hours to bake the bread, but you still can. So I think that is also something that could be explored with lava flows. Don't have to make it flowing. Take in the thin ice mechanic, but with lava. See how careful your PCs are going to be from here on.
Yeah, that's wild. I that had not occurred to me. So like lava flows are far more active and dangerous, but even just like walking across volcanic rock could be actual lava.
Yes, it entirely depends on the volcanic rock. If it is still black as night, don't fucking walk on it. If it's gray and has some moss on it, you're pretty fine. That's been cooling for a number of thousands of years. If it's raining and you see steam coming off the rock, don't fucking walk there. I feel like that is a pretty self-explanatory thing.
Oh, I gotta write this down. Don't walk on lava. All right, I think I get it, Andri.
Good.
So, are there any mechanics that you want to add to lava flows specifically to kind of impress the danger a little bit more, besides just an absolute radiation of heat at a distance?
I think a little bit of a hallucination effect, like how we get that, like when you're in a desert that's warm and you see like a mirage.
The mirage effect.
Yeah, you could definitely put that into a lava field, easy peasy, because that heat is going to be extreme. Especially if it's for a vast area.
Hey, Andri, do volcanoes smell?
Yes, of sulfur.
That's what I thought.
Gases. Okay. Again, depends on the eruption.
Sure.
But a lot of it is sulfur and oddly burning rock. I don't know if you've smelled burning rock before, but that's kind of what that smells like.
Like crack rock? What are we talking about here?
No, just rock. Oh. Like just a rock that has been burnt. It makes no sense if you haven't smelled it.
Like charcoals? Like you would put in a barbecue?
No, because that's a pleasant smell.
Yeah, I would assume that burning minerals is not necessarily something that you want to invest heavily in, right? So, yeah, that makes sense. But I was just thinking.
But like I said, it depends. Most of the time it's sulfur, but you can have like ash. I didn't even get into the ash, like the ash fall that could happen with eruptions, because we're talking about lava flows. So I'm gonna keep off of it for now. But ash has a smell to it, and it can often have a nitrate smell to it, which is odd.
I think that would be shocking the first time you ever run across it.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm glad it smells like sulfur, because it gives me an opportunity to not just use fire elementals that are coming out of it and molten earth elementals, right? So I can have my magmen, my salamanders, my mephits, but also fire and earth elementals as well. Can you imagine a lava zorn, right? That's an earth elemental, but like now it's doing all sorts of fire damage. It's got maybe an aura. Anything coming off of a lava flow that's an elemental should have a fire aura that's doing damage when you get too close to it, because it's that fire. Right?
Oh yeah.
But because it smells like sulfur, you could play with this a couple of times. Oh, the volcano is active. It goes off every so often. You guys have to evacuate this village in tier 1. At the end of tier 2, there are fire elementals that have come out of it, and earth elementals, and you've got to deal with that, like from the plane of, I think it's magma, right? And then and then you can do this maybe in Act 3. The ash cloud has like blocked out the sun, putting the whole world or the whole area into darkness for the rest of the campaign, right? But then I'm thinking, like, they're so used to the smell of sulfur being an indicator that, oh, there's going to be a fissure, something that is nearby, and they can go investigate it all the way through this campaign, and it's going to mask the devil that I have there, because they smell like sulfur too, right?
Yeah.
And they've got all sorts of immunities and resistances to fire damage. So like this would be just a very natural place for them to burst their way into our world. So lava flows have got some really fun. I mean, you can do the same thing with the glacier and like an ice devil, right? Like it doesn't have to just be this, but
you wanna hold on. I'm gonna send you a picture real quick. What you can't do as well, because this is also a very popular thing. I say this as we do this actively. This is a popular thing to happen here in Iceland. We get volcanoes that erupt under glaciers.
What?
Yeah, buddy boy. This place sucks. Don't come here. It fucking sucks, bro. No.
but no, do go there and hire Andri to show you around.
Yes, please. Give me money. Give me your money.
The PSA, by the way, is not a public service announcement. It's a profit service announcement for Andri.
Yeah, you get it. Let me see. Can I control V? There we go. I don't know if you remember 2010 very well, Adam, but there you go.
Do I ever? That was back when the world was still a happy place.
Yeah, and then a small eruption happened here in Iceland, and it halted the entire European continent in flight travel.
That is wild. You know what I'm going to do with this, Andri, is on our YouTube channel. I'm going to use this as like the graphic for this episode.
Fucking lovely. Yeah. For those who are curious, that is Eyjafjallajökull. You don't have to write it down. Don't worry. That erupted here in Iceland in 2010, and why it's a big reason why Iceland is a popular tourist destination now. Welcome to my tour of the glacier.
Don't forget to tip your guide.
Yes, please give me your money.
Okay, so my next question for you then.
Yes.
If we talked about glaciers, we talked about lava flows, then those are the big ones that you specifically wanted to touch on. And I feel like there's so much more. Like if someone is inspired by this,
much.
Can do the research, right? Can look into how these natural events and environments actually form and the impact of them. Because I'm sure that both of them have wiped out civilizations at some point, right? So
I mean, Pompeii was wiped out by an eruption.
Yeah, but I mean just even like a lava flow that would have just eaten a village and pushed all
we are, so this is going to sound morbid. We're waiting for that to happen with one of our towns. I'm not kidding. We're actively waiting for it to happen.
That's not just look, it's not that morbid. We're all waiting for Florida to fall into the ocean, right? The sea levels are rising. Fair. They're going to tell us climate change is a hoax, but you know, their beaches are disappearing as
so just really quickly on that topic. I know that you don't think that, but if anybody on the Discord thinks that, fucking fight me. You're gonna lose.
Do you have an opinion, Andri? Please stop holding back.
It's not. So global warming is a very real thing, guys. And if you guys don't believe, I implore you, come visit me in Iceland. I'm gonna show you the evidence.
Yeah, pretty quick. We're gonna have to change it from Iceland to Waterland because all the ice is melting.
Yeah. So just the glacier I work on is the second biggest glacier in all of Europe, and thus is the second biggest glacier in all of Iceland. It has a rough surface area of about 870 square kilometers. That is the same size as Dallas, Texas, not Texas, Dallas, Texas. To give you an idea how big this glacier is, it will be completely gone in 70 years.
Yeah, we're dealing with very similar things in northern Canada. Like, yeah, it's getting fucking scary. So
I don't just say this here. I say this on tours to my tourists. If you disagree with me, debate with me. You will lose, but please.
And also come back in 17 years and we'll talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the last thing that I want to cover in this episode is is there a magical environment? Is there something that you would say, hey, we should really think about this kind of situation with magic in some extreme like environmental Yes, what do you got?
I have this actually. I had not thought of anything yesterday. This came to me on a tour. Because a small blizzard did roll in. I did not see much, but I always kept thinking I was seeing shapes, like where I was supposed to go, but I wasn't. It was the wrong fucking direction. So a little magical effect, you can just do a little bit of a hallucinatory terrain or whatever, just an illusion to make it look like you're supposed to go that way, but you're not supposed to be going that way. It's like leading you away. Just a small magical fuckery.
I'm gonna just jump on this right away.
Yes, please.
This is going to be when the winter court of the Feywild has a party that's raging too hard that it bursts through a blizzard, and you are being summoned by the revelry to head in this direction. And if you go through, you will end up in the Feywild, in the winter portion of the Feywild, right? Because a blizzard was a portal there, right?
Yeah. And then because, as we all know now, after my episode with Icelandic elves, you are now fucked. Good luck.
Yeah, you better hope it's D&D Fey and not Iceland Fey.
Exactly.
I think that's fantastic. Is we should have these portals opening up all over the place. The other thing that I would want to do,
you could do with in deserts, if there's a sandstorm, you could say that's the summer fae or whatever.
Yeah,
really going at it. You
the
could
other
go
thing
different
you could
ways for
do
it.
is just add the undead in the eye of the storm, right? Like it's kind of a it's kind of a trope that not a really common trope, but one I've definitely seen before, where like the ghost ship on the waters always comes in fog. When it gets foggy, the ghost ship is coming in, right?
The Flying Dutchman is on his way. That's what's happening.
Yeah, exactly, right. You could do that with some sort of undead dragon, like blue dragon in the desert, or you could do that with
a white dragon in the Arctic.
I was going to say like a caravan of frost giants that is always.
Oh, that's good as well. That's good as well.
But they're all undead, and it's useful that we have frost giant zombie stat blocks already. So like, but
that's handy.
it could be that, or it could be the ghosts of the mammoths that were hunted to extinction in this region. Shit like that, right? So
absolutely,
yeah. The harsh environment is in and of itself enough to kill party members, and so like this is kind of my final thought. I want to wrap this episode up with the idea that like the harsh environment is enough to kill party members, but if you want to drive the point home without pissing off your players, aim for NPCs, especially not beloved NPCs, new caravan, new people that you've just met, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, when you're finished that, and you're like, okay, we've gotten used to it now. The party has geared up. They've got magical wards. They figured it out. They got the magical sealskin boots, and they're going to be just fine in a blizzard, right? Now you can start to add creatures to it as well, or those hazards that are not just like the standard background always on, right? You've got to like your visibility is limited, right? Or you're going to take levels of exhaustion if you go out in this kind of storm or whatnot. Like that's just kind of background shit. Now you get to do things like hail, like crevasses opening up, like the thin ice taking you out. And so now there's immediate fucking traps just all over the place in here. And then once that gets handled, you can start to combine all of that shit together with combat. And this is how you can take a level 8 party and very effectively throw CR6 or 5 creatures at them and still have it be fucking memorable and frightening as well. And I think that's we talk about I don't know how close attention you're paying to the Monster Manual Arena that we're doing on the Patreon.
I do. I just don't. I don't speak a lot in it. I do pay attention to it, and I do cast my vote most of the time.
I see your votes. I'm just like, I don't know how much you're following along, because some of us get really into the weeds on some of the rules. And
no, I love that. I love that. That does help me vote, admittedly.
But for anybody that's not there, the things that we are really running across, the big game changers, are action economy, movement speeds, and environment, right?
Yeah.
Because something as simple as nighttime will just drastically swing a combat in favor of two, on paper, seemingly like same CR, seemingly good matchup against each other. Oh no, there's this one thing, it's over. It's just over, right? Like it's such a disadvantage for some people because of the environment and the setting. And so I love that we're talking about environmental hazards right now, because I'm gearing up to run a little Christmas one shot again, and I am goddamn inspired. I think it's mostly going to be get from point A to point B. Good luck.
Yeah.
Honestly, by the time this episode comes out, it'll probably be around or after Christmas. I don't remember what the release schedule looks like right now off the top of my head, but this is so useful, so much fun to deal with the. I'm gonna have it. You have to get across this glacier. Good luck.
Yeah.
And when they fall into a crevasse, hold on. Note to self. Let me write this down because you have inspired me. Hold on. When falling into crevasse, add ice bats.
Ice bats. Ah.
Yep.
I mean, also, this is actually something I did mention really quickly about glaciers. If you're in a cave, definitely put icicles in there.
Oh yeah,
definitely put icicles in there. Don't hesitate with those.
I also want, and I think that there's got to be a magical thing, but I also want a ice cave to work as like a house of mirrors as well. I think that could be fun too.
Yes.
Where you're just seeing all sorts of like reflections of people moving and things. I think that'd be neat.
That could be fun, yeah.
Anyway, do you have any final thoughts? Any people or social media or projects or anything you want to mention?
No, not really.
Fair enough. All right, so that's all for our discussion on environmental hazards. Thanks again, Andri, for choosing this topic and for trying to teach us all about glaciers and lava flows, because not all of us have the benefit of living in Iceland. Sounds scary.
I'd say it's a benefit. Honestly, it's nice living here. You just have to minus the shit that wants to kill me.
Yes, but some of that shit is just the planet itself, and the other shit is the Fae. You're not selling Iceland with your episodes. You are terrifying people.
Good.
We haven't even gotten into giants and trolls yet, which I'm sure are part of the lore in that area as well.
Yes, absolutely. So,
anyway, I want to say thanks for supporting the Patreon, and I look forward to jumping into a future episode with you. We have more to talk about when it comes to elves.
Oh yeah, there's so much. I just have to prep.
We just have to prep. You and me both. Right, and who's got the time?
Exactly.
Anyway, and thank you to all the listeners for listening to another episode of the It's a Mimic podcast. That's all for this Platinum Greatwyrm episode of the It's a Mimic podcast. This episode and others can also be found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and most other podcast apps. Please take a second to engage with a like, follow, subscribe, comment, or review to help push our engagement. Thanks for listening to It's a Mimic, where you never know what you're going to get. If you'd like to support us, we have a store with some merch and a donate button on our website, itsamimic.com. You can also head to itsamimic.com to find a comprehensive episode guide and more information about the show. We do have a Patreon, which not only offers access to our exclusive Discord server, but also hosts over 100 episodes, including a variety of bonus episodes covering topics like 5th edition book reviews and the campaign builder, spells and gods, fae, homebrew inspiration, and even the Blood War. If you'd like to submit any mailbag questions, please reach out to us through any of the social media links in the show notes of this episode, or send us an email at info@itsamimic.com. This has been an episode of It's a Mimic, where you never know what you're going to get.